This chapter of Chosen X has to be very interesting because not only that we get a glimpse of a backstory about Batista when he was in the Yamano of Mori, but we also get to see what's the method of this new drug that he is making to actually have Chojins or humans to be a Trojan and be a candidate to have the mark of the beast. Because remember, Zora is kind of at a state where they kind of need a new host to have the mental of the beast. And we know that Tokyo is a candidate, but we actually found out that Pamela is actually a candidate as well because she injected herself with the serum. But Batista actually has an interest in someone else, which happens to be Ozma, because he thinks that Ozma will have the capability of actually to be the perfect candidate to actually receive the mark of the beast and turn into a beast. Because the whole purpose is to have Zora actually transfer her beast mark to a Trojan, and that will fulfill the prophecy. So Batista, with this new drugs, we see how powerful it is because he test drive it on the corpse thanks to Pamela, and it looks like it does work, but it does have some side effects. So then we see that Batista, he goes on ahead and trying to find other subjects as well to try to take it. But he did warn that this medication or this new drug or serum will cause a person to explode. So with Chandra making his return and working as a normal human, he took the opportunity to go on ahead and actually take the serum because he wants his power back. And we see the downfall continues with Chandra as his whole body explode. And Chandra wakes up because we thinking that Chandra is dead, but he actually is alive. But he is just only has his head, and his head is in a jar with Yokuba, I believe that's her name, is the one who has his head in the jar and keeping him. And at this point, Chandra is just a joke and a bum. It's just so funny how Chandra, how he first came into the series, and he was just someone that was just so serious and just someone that like you just really didn't want to mess with, to now that he's just a butt end of the joke. Because now that he got his powers taken away, he's just pretty much just a coward. He's running away from his life and everything. It's just really funny how Chandra is at this point. But throughout this chapter, we do focus on Batista and his backstory on when he was in the Yamano of Mori. And it was really interesting because we did got a glimpse on another chapter, but it was only for like a page where we see Master Mado is telling Sandek that you will have to kill your brother because she saw the foresight of Batista actually turning evil. And so she was just giving Sandek a actual option because Sandek doesn't want to kill his brother. Sandek, he was just like, I will become more powerful so that way we don't have to kill him. That way we can try to find a way so that way, Batista can become good and he doesn't actually have to go on ahead and cause this whole destruction or this nightmare. But Master Motto just stated that, like, hey, the only way that that could happen is if he lived his life as a human and he honestly relinquished his Chosen powers. And we see that Sandek and Batista, they really did had a good relationship. And you can kind of just tell that Batista kind of respected his brother. And he was actually proud of his brother because his brother, at the age of 21, actually got promoted to the higher ranking. And it just sees that Batista was actually living his life as a good human because he agreed with Master Mado that he will relinquish his power and live his life as a human and not a Chosen. Because Master Mado stated that if he lives his life as a Chosen, then he will become evil. But then suddenly something has switched. And it was really interesting because we see Batista how he was before we see the messed up face, and even Batista even got like, a little girlfriend or someone. And then suddenly the page has changed into something that is tragedy, something that made Batista go rogue and made a contract with New. Because remember, Simon described that the Trojan that actually kind of like wiped out or almost wiped out his whole clan and his whole family was a Trojan, and this Trojan was New. And then for some odd reason, we see Batista is actually making a contract, and we see him actually obeying news. So there was some kind of tragedy that made Batista go rogue and actually become evil and go into the footsteps that we see Master Motto has foresaw. So throughout this chapter, it was just very interesting to see Batista and his motives on the drugs and everything else and what he really wants to do. And it's very, very interesting as well that he really finds very more interested in Ozma. And it kind of really just stated that during that time when Tokyo Ellie and Ozma, when they first interacted with Batista and Zora, because he really did find an interest in Ozma. But throughout the beginning of the chapter, we do see Tokyo. They continue on with their investigation, and it's day 10, and they're still trying to find the source of Zora's supplier. And it's just things are just really, really, it's just going very, very, very tough for them. But overall, this chapter was really good. This chapter was very interesting. And we see that Pamela's also being interrogated, and Pamela, she's just being an innocent person because she doesn't really know what she's doing. And so it was just really funny how Ozma, he's being a real police officer. This man is grilling her with all these questions, and Pamela's just like, I didn't know, I'm oblivious. Like, I was just doing my job and that's it. I didn't know what was the whole purpose of. I didn't know if it was bad. I didn't know if it was good. I just did what I was paid to do. And it was just really funny. But overall, this chapter was very solid. It was very great. Let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this chapter, what your guys' theories, process, anything else. And if you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and remember, always be decent. This is the Monotone Man. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out here. Peace.